In the last couple of years, there have been some major changes to the Formula One cars that F1 racers have had to drive with, and as a result, the sport has a lot happening right now. Today, we're going to be talking about how Daniel Ricciardo says he is past the point of frustration adapting to the new McLaren Formula One car and other F1 news, so make sure to stick around so you don't miss anything. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. First, we're going to take a look at Daniel Ricciardo. The Australian McLaren racer Daniel Ricciardo has had a really rough time trying to keep up with his teammate Lando Norris this F1 season. There has been a delay with the pandemic happening, but in addition to this, the new McLaren F1 car, the MCL35M, is proving difficult for Ricciardo to adapt to. The new McLaren MCL35 was designed under the direction of James Key and was constructed by McLaren to compete in the 2020 season, but it was pushed into 2021. It is an upgraded version of the previous McLaren car, and so far it has seen positive results. McLaren finished in third place in the World Constructors' Championship for the first time since 2012 and achieved podiums at other Grand Prix. The car has proved effective, but Ricciardo is still struggling. He has stated that it's still definitely at times frustrating, but I'm probably past the point of being frustrated. I think now it's kind of a reality that I'm still needing to find some more and just be at one with the car. That's probably the best way to put it. Daniel Ricciardo had more to say about the vehicle and his future. He continued talking about his relationship with F1 and the new car. So I guess it's not anything new for me now. I know and I'm aware that it's probably still going to be a process. I didn't panic at the beginning, but I was aware that I was losing ground, and I was just trying to understand where am I losing and what is it that I need to help me to get those 3 or 4 tenths of a lap more. Although at the same time as all of this, Ricciardo shed some hope. He says that overall, being pushed by the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz Jr. has obliged him and others on his team to test their limits. I think having Carlos actually at the end or for most of the race on me, putting the pressure on me, kind of forced me in a way to overdrive some corners. This is all indicative that though Daniel Ricciardo is frustrated by his vehicle, he's getting more used to it, seeing and understanding where he can improve and finding the confidence that he used to once have. Additionally, a spark is being lit in him by the competition that the other racers are putting up. Matteo Nannini becomes the 9th different Formula 3 winner after just 11 races in 2021. In 2021, Matteo Nannini overcame Charouz Racing Systems' Enzo Fittipaldi and High-Tech Grand Prix' Roman Stanek for his maiden victory in Race 2 at Budapest. Matteo Nannini, an HWA race lab driver, started off strong, getting ahead of Stanek from his third-place position before overcoming the pole-sitter Enzo Fittipaldi on lap 4, someone who has struggled in the past to warm up his Pirellis. Alex Smollier had held on to 4th place despite the pressure from the championship leader Dennis Hogger, someone who had put on strong charge through the course, making up 3 places from the 8th where he was. The Red Bull Junior racer had gained ground on all 5 of his previous primary title rivals, leaving Jack Doohan, Frederick Vesti, Ollie Caldwell, and Victor Martins out of the points. Next, we are going to be looking at why Max Verstappen is going to go with the opposite strategy to Mercedes. In the upcoming Hungarian Grand Prix, Max Verstappen will start from the 3rd position, right behind the 1st and 2nd positions that the Mercedes team holds. He will also race with soft tires as opposed to their medium, which means that he should have the advantage at the start of Sunday's race. Previously, Verstappen had missed out on the pole position in Hungary on Saturday as he finished 3rd in qualifying, with title rival Lewis Hamilton taking a 101st pole position and Valtteri Bottas taking 2nd. Though this is the case, both Silver Arrows will start on medium tires, while Verstappen set his 2nd qualifying flying effort on soft, meaning he is still going to be starting on the same rubber. In regards to this, Verstappen said, "It's just because the others were on the softs and they were improving their lap times. My lap time on the medium would really have been on the edge for a top 1 finish, and that's why we decided to finish the lap on soft tires in the 2nd qualifying." Max Verstappen is also done with questions about racing Hamilton. One of his rivals, Lewis Hamilton, has previously taken the 101st pole position when Verstappen took 3rd in qualifying last Saturday in Hungary. When asked what he thinks might happen if he and Lewis Hamilton go wheel-to-wheel once the lights go out at the race, Verstappen indicated that he is done answering questions. The two have had previous wheel-to-wheel battles, such as in their lap 1 clash at Silverstone, but Verstappen was quick to shut down any questions about what might happen on Sunday if they find themselves on the same racetrack. In a post-qualifying press conference, Verstappen said that, "Can we just already stop about this because we had so many questions about this? It's just ridiculous, honestly." He did not end it there though. "Honestly, the whole Thursday we've been answering this stupid all the time. So can we just stop about it, please? We are racers. We will race, but of course we are going to race hard but fair, so we are just going to keep pushing each other." Right now, Max Verstappen is 8 points ahead of Hamilton going into Sunday's Grand Prix, so only time will tell how this little rivalry plays out. Next, we are looking at Williams Racing sending their best wishes to Jack Aitken. Jack Aitken, a reserve driver, was hospitalized following a crash in the Spa 24 Hours in Belgium. Aitken is a British racer who was driving a Lamborghini in the event. During the event, he had been involved in a multi-car shunt at Rédillon with 3 other drivers. According to the organizers of the race, all 4 were seen at the Circuit Medical Center before Aitken and David Riggin were transferred to the hospital for further evaluation. The other drivers had been released to their respective teams. Williams tweeted their support for Aitken following the crash, saying that Jack has been taken to hospital for further evaluation and fortunately with no life-threatening injuries. Everyone at the team wishes him a speedy recovery. Carlos Sainz's second qualifying crash is looked at next. Carlos Sainz had been looking good for a strong qualifying session in Hungary after finishing the first quarter in P4. At the end of the session, though, the Spaniard Carlos Sainz's high potential unfortunately went unrealized. He had crashed on his first run in quarter 2 with the Ferrari driver, later admitting the hurt of being eliminated in P15, especially under such hard-to-understand circumstances. Carlos Sainz was close to finishing his opening run in the second segment of qualifying when his car suddenly snapped sideways at the final corner. He would ultimately be sent into the barriers and crash. As the red flags flew, Sainz tried to return his damaged car to the pits before ultimately giving up once his front wings had become trapped underneath the red machine. When asked if it hurt to be eliminated so early, Carlos Sainz said, It does. Q1 was so strong and I was feeling good with the car, so to have this kind of issue in Q2 in the first run, with the quali still to play for, hurts." Carlos Sainz's statements did not end there though. When asked what he thought the reason was for the crash, he states, "It got gustier, it got windier, so I'm not going to use it as an excuse. I should have maybe adapted a bit myself, but when you go into a corner slower than the previous one and you still lose the rear, it's unfortunate. It hurts because I'm not used to doing this kind of mistake, but I have to take it on the chin, apologize to the team, and go again tomorrow." Carlos Sainz has now been eliminated in Q2 in 3 of the last 4 races, facing an uphill battle to pick up successive point finishes from what is his worst ever Hungarian Grand Prix grid slot. He does not lose hope though. Asked about his chances, Sainz states that Q1 felt really good. Yesterday we weren't particularly that good on the long run, but we know for Sunday we always have a bit in the tank. It's the worst possible track to have this kind of issue because overtaking is going to be very tough, but at the same time, I'm going to try to recover from this and try to score some points tomorrow. And that wraps up the video. Thanks for watching.